Look at this tweet just in from Kimberly Martin from Baker Mayfield, who is speaking around right now. We'll get more sound if we can. If he's back, we'll work through it, Baker says. I can put my ego and pride aside to win. Really interesting scenario from both sides as Dan's shaking his head. I want to point this out. If the Browns did release OBJ and he's claimed by a new team, they would inherit his deal. He's owed $8 million this year and then $13.75 million in 2022 and 2023. Both those years aren't guaranteed. But Marcus, do you think we've seen the last of Beckham in Cleveland?
Yeah. Listen, this is earlier I talked about this on SportsCenter, and I was talking about how both of these guys need to be. You get to a point, like the reality is you got 3 former NFL players. We don't all like each other. Like that, we talk about the locker room. I'm not talking about y'all. We talk about the locker room. They love each other now. We always give the locker room talk in context that it's everybody get along.
Right.
And we all got great relationships, and that's why we having success. That ain't true. That's a lie. And if any NFL player tell you that, it's a lie. I played with teammates that we played great together on the field. I wouldn't stop to pick them up off the side of the road. That's the reality of it. But the bottom line is this.
So mean.
The bottom line is this. When you look at this particular situation, this, for me, is about Cleveland Browns front office.
Sure.
This is about what's the trajectory of your program. Where do you want to go? And also, if Baker is your guy moving forward and you just saw this statement,
that's a good point.
You better understand that he knows that Odell Beckham Jr. don't want to play with him as well. So it's a lot of nuance to this discussion. The Browns brass needs to step in, let OBJ walk, move forward with this team, and determine what you're going to do with Baker Mayfield. Because Odell Beckham Jr. going to find another job.
Stirring it, huh? I see you, Marcus.
Stir that pot.
No.
But here's what I'm going to say. My comments have changed 50 times since the time I walked through this door. And here's what I believe. And you mentioned getting along with your teammates. We all have teammates that we don't mess with, like Marcus said. But as a receiver, the one dude that I did rock with was the quarterback.
Why are you throwing me the ball?
It's real.
This is the one dude. It's like,
you guys.
I like him as a quarterback. That's about all. He's gonna make sure I get the football. Now I can tell you for sure that 13 don't rock with number 6.
Yeah.
He don't rock with him at all.
That's real talk.
He wants out of there. And at the end of the day, they should. They tried to move him. There's no question about it. There was conversations with the New Orleans Saints. He wanted to leave because he recognizes his talent and his ability, and he's not getting it done in Cleveland. Now, look, think about it this way. If I'm a star player and I'm transferred or shipped off to another team via trade, and I get there, and all of a sudden I'm not producing at the same level, and I know it's not me, how you think I'm going to respond and react to my family when they're asking me questions about what the hell is going on? I don't hold anything against his father, what his father posted.
Yeah.
That's family.
I agree with y'all. I think they need to release him because the reality is, and our show has documented it nonstop, it's not working on the field, okay? We now have, over the last 48 hours, kind of some evidence that it's not working off the field either, okay? I think Odell's silence yesterday after his father releasing that video says everything that we need to know.
Yeah.
I agree. They need to release him because there's no way you can function. I'm just telling you as a quarterback. There's no way I can function in the locker room as the quarterback of the football team, as the leader of the organization or the face, when I know...
And I'm side-eyeing you every day.
When I know that you don't think I'm good, and I know that you don't want to be my teammate anymore. For the betterment of the now and the future of Baker Mayfield, and for the football team, you've got to move on for Odell. Now, do I think Odell can be a top 5 receiver in the NFL again? I'm not sold on that.
I'm sold he could be a top 10 guy.
Correct. I don't think he's a bum anymore like people are making him out to be.
No, he's not a bum.
Correct. I still think he can play.
Yes, absolutely.
I still think he can play. I just don't think it happens in Cleveland
Here's
anymore.
another reason why I don't think he's there. Laura, you mentioned OBJ's numbers the next 2 years. None of that is guaranteed.
Yep.
Baker got $20 million guaranteed
and it's still a little bit unknown, right?
So much of it is about that.
Right.
You're talking about his numbers also on the field. He's got to get targeted. His targets per game fell from 10.5 with the Giants to 7.1 since joining the Browns. Receiving yards also dropped nearly 40 yards a game. New on NFL Live, how about this one? Our Browns reporter Jake Trotter saying that now Baker Mayfield says, and this is not really a shock, but Baker says he was just as surprised as anyone else by the post by Odell's father and has not spoken to Odell since.
You can't have this, man. It's not going away. You've got to.
I don't need to
this
talk.
has to be ended this afternoon.
I'm the starting quarterback of a team. I don't need to continue to battle you in social media.
Yeah.
I just don't need to do it.
Well, right. And I think a former Baker might have jumped in that fray. But Baker has shown a little bit of maturity here, and he's probably thinking, I don't want to mess with
You're
any
not
of
going to
this
get
either
growth
way.
from your quarterback in this situation.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.